Toby always, ever since we were little, asked me to be his girlfriend. I was his first and only girlfriend. Toby's out of contract at the end of this year. I don't know where I'll be living in 3 months' time. Naturally, I'm like, oh, where are we going to live? I feel a bit of anxiousness. We're trying to have a baby. We're trying to buy a house.
So what about the other WAGs?
There's a group of us. We actually just went to Bali.
What actually happens in the group chat?
It's normally like, oh my God. It's like, we're like fans do.
Your wedding day turned into this onslaught of attacks from trolls online.
I was naive. I felt like I'd been smacked in the face. It was literally about me being, in quotation marks, fat. It's also that same person that will obsess over my husband, will hate on me. Like he's trapped. And I'm like, Toby has no respect for you.
This new wave of skinny epidemic.
Ariana Grande, leave her alone. I was so embarrassed that I wanted to delete it. And my husband, Toby, was like, no. It was obviously an outreach of help.
Did he feel guilty because you are in the public eye because of him?
That's the other misconception. So I'm definitely not going to the Brownlow. I kind of feel like Hannah Montana. Like the best of both worlds, like a double life.
Was there anything that you didn't understand about infertility? It was like a huge wake-up call?
So much. There's so much people don't understand. Like it consumes your whole entire life. Although your hope gets shattered one day, there's still always deep down, there's that tiny bit of hope that keeps you pushing.
If you could go back?
Probably the only thing is I probably wouldn't have.
Welcome to The Debrief, Daily Mail's new showbiz video podcast. I'm your host, Savannah Young, and each week I'll be sitting down with some of the biggest names in entertainment, social media, and pop culture to unpack the headlines, the rumours, and the stories everyone is talking about. From the secrets of the WAGS group chat to the reality behind life in the AFL spotlight, Chloe Pink shares why she feels like she's living a double life. She sets the record straight on Brownlow misconception, her reaction to the Lachie and Jules Neale scandal, what she really thinks of Australia's hottest WAG, and her fears as husband Toby's AFL future hangs in the balance. But it's the deeply personal moments that hit hardest. Chloe speaks honestly about the online trolling, her IVF journey, the wedding day regrets she still thinks about, and the one thing she believes matters more than footy. Raw, honest, and relatable, this is Chloe Pink. Welcome, Chloe Pink.
It's nice to be here.
You are one of the most celebrated AFL WAGs in Melbourne. Everyone is talking about you. I just wanted to get straight into it and say, if someone who had never heard of AFL met you tomorrow, how would you introduce yourself and describe your life?
Wow, that's a good question.
It's a good opener.
I think I would start by saying I'm Chloe Pink and start by saying I have a corporate full-time job, but I also do a lot of content / influencing online, and that involves advocating for women, body positivity, lifestyle general, and I'm married to my husband Toby Pink, who happens to be an AFL player. And if you don't know what AFL is, he's a professional athlete and they kick a ball between the two goals.
I love that description.
Yeah.
The only sport where you get a point for trying.
Yeah, get a point for trying. Yeah.
There is a bit of stigma around the term WAG. Would you call yourself a WAG? Are you happy to call yourself that?
No, I'm okay with the word. It's the truth. It's I'm a wife or a girlfriend. I'm a wife of a professional athlete. So I'm a WAG and I'm okay to call myself that. The only thing I don't like about it is it's often referred to in a negative way and in a negative connotation. So I'm okay with the word, but if you're referencing, the WAGs or you're just a typical WAG, you're saying that as it's a derogatory term, but it's actually not. So I'm okay with the word as long as you use it in the correct way.
Of course.
So, yeah.
As you said before, you do a lot of content creation and you're really prominent on social media. What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about you on TikTok and Instagram?
I don't know. I don't think I've never heard of any misconceptions about, actually, I have one. People say, why do you talk with your hands? And why do you talk like that? And why do you talk with your tongue? I have ADHD, that's how I talk in general. And I think they think I do that because in quotation marks, I'm an influencer. That's the influencer talk. But that's my personality. So that's probably the only one I can think of. Other than that, I show up as my self that I am in person here as I do online. So there's nothing that really differentiates me. But it's that everyone says, why do you talk with your hands and your tongue and your lips and expressive? I'm like, because that's who I am. I'm expressive.
But also, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Be animated.
I'm like, woo!
And what about, you know, your daily routine? Because obviously the way that everybody portrays themselves, not just not just content creators, but how people portray themselves on social media, it's always seemed to be perfect and glamorous.
Yeah.
What's something that would be like an unglamorous part of your daily routine that would probably surprise people?
I don't know if it's unglamorous, but a bit of a weird one. Every night before I go to bed, I disinfect my phones. Yeah. I know it sounds weird, but I have OCD, so I'm a germaphobe. So every night before bed, I need to disinfect my phones because those germs aren't coming in the bed. So it's not glamorous, and I don't talk about it too much.
So you completely wipe your phone down? I thought you meant like some kind of techie thing.
I'll invent that. No, I get a disinfectant wipe and disinfect both my phones.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So not glamorous. But in terms of like online seeming like it's the glamorous side of things, I feel like I'm pretty raw and I'm pretty honest in general. So I feel like I share the vulnerable side and the not glamorous side of things as well as the glamorous. I feel like I have a good balance of both.
Do you find it's kind of easier though, like rather than, you know, having to constantly rehearse and try and be perfect, that you're just like, I can just be myself. I don't really care.
Yeah, I wouldn't enjoy it if I had to be glamorous every second on social media. I wouldn't find that would be exhausting. That's an effort, whereas I can just show up as who I am and I have fun with that. So yeah, I like it.
And I think that's what people prefer to see nowadays. We're shifting into this online society where people want to see more genuine people and real people and what they're getting up to, rather than this fake lifestyle that isn't quite realistic to most people.
Yeah, I agree. I think I found a lot of my content that's real, raw, honest, vulnerable does a lot better than if I've curated a photo dump and everything's so perfectly in aesthetic. A lot of the stuff that I share when I'm being really honest and it's so unfiltered does a lot better. So I think it's because it's relatable.
Yeah.
So I think, when an audience finds you relatable, your content's going to do better. Whereas if everything's glamorous, which don't get me wrong, I love seeing glamorous stuff online. But if everything's glamorous, it's less relatable.
Of course. Or you get to a point where you're like, I just can't
keep it up.
Seeing all of this all the time, like the oversaturation of it.
Yeah.
Would you say you're naturally a homebody, social butterfly, or sort of in between?
Social butterfly. I hate being by myself. I love being out and about. My schedule's very hectic. Don't get me, I love being home because I'm rarely home, but I'm a social butterfly. Like I'm out 99% of the time. I love being around people. And so for example, some people fill their cup by being at home and by themselves. My cup's filled with being out and about with other people. So
now let's talk about entering the AFL world.
Yeah.
Now, you and Toby have only been married for, it would be, over a year now?
Over a year?
Yeah.
What month are we in? We got married in March. So March, April, May, June, July, August. Year and a half maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like we said before, the WAG label, it comes with the stereotype. What would something about being married to an AFL player like Toby that would sort of surprise people who really only see the public side of the game and the WAGs?
Yeah, I think what a lot of people forget is it's just a job at the end of the day. Yes, it's super glamorized, but it's my husband's job. He goes there, he works there full time. He gets paid to do it. It's like when I talk to him, I'm saying, do you have work tomorrow? I'm not saying, do you have AFL tomorrow or do you have football? It's a job. And so with any job, you have your perks, but not everything about your job is glamorous. Yeah. So although you see the glamorous side of things, not everything about it is glamorous. Obviously, it's a great job, but it's still a job at the end of the day. It's like anyone going to work. So, yeah, I think people sometimes forget that because obviously they see them as they're very idolised.
Yeah.
And fair enough, football's great. I love football. I'm a football fan. But at the end of the day, it is their job. And so I think, yeah, and they are human. So sometimes they can be seen, or both myself and my husband, you can be seen as an object, but we're human. I'm no different to you. I'm no different to the average person going to work. Just because my husband plays AFL for a job, it doesn't change who we are as people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not devaluing the job, but that's just how I've always looked at it. Like, that is his job.
Yeah.
But although I'm a football fan, and that aside, like, obviously he plays football and I love football.
Yeah.
It's still...
Yeah.
in our group, like internally between us, to me, it's his job.
I know what you mean. It's not like you're not dating or being with someone for the sake of what they do.
Yeah.
Like, of course.
I couldn't care less if you didn't play football. I would still be a football fan. I'd probably still go for Kangaroos.
That's so good. You said there's like the unglamorous side of AFL.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, just things like you need to work hard. You don't just get to be an AFL player by being talented. That's work, that's dedication, that's uprooting your life. Like, for example, Toby, he's been injured all season. He's had to have shoulder surgery. So then obviously he has one arm. That impacts the home. That impacts his contract. That impacts his work. That impacts his mental health. Then things like we've moved interstate multiple times. We've lived in Sydney. We've lived in Victoria. We've lived in South Australia. We've lived back in Victoria. That is the side that people don't see. Like, we are uprooting our life. For example, Toby's out of contract at the end of this year. I don't know where I'll be living in 3 months' time. Like, and we're trying for a baby. It's things like that people don't even take into consideration. Like, that's not glamorous.
No.
Although I'm grateful to be in that position. It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about it. But it's like, it's still a job. It's still a life.
But it's still hard. Like, it's not about complaining. Like, it's still a huge adjustment, constantly having to uproot your life and move, away from family, away from friends, and adjusting to a whole new life.
Yeah.
Outside of somewhere that you may have already just settled in.
Yeah, correct. And we're both more than happy to do it. Like, it's kind of fun in a way, but it's not as simple as just, let's move tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think, like, that's a big job and that's a big thing, both financially, emotionally. Like, I have a job. So although it's exciting and we're both more than happy to do it, it's still something that people don't consider.
Yeah, of course.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, people don't see it being played out so publicly.
Yeah.
And what about Toby's contract? You mentioned that was up at the end of the year. Are you concerned about that in any way, or are you thinking about moving and where you want to live next?
Yeah.
Or is it all kind of up in the air?
It's all up in the air. He's not concerned. So if he's not concerned, I shouldn't be concerned. Naturally, I'm like, where are we going to live? I think that's a really natural feeling to have, but he is not concerned at all. We're kind of used to it. It's always had small contracts. He's been in and out of the AFL system, I think. Naturally I feel a bit of anxiousness because I don't know what's happening with our life in 3 months.
Yeah.
We're trying to have a baby. We're trying to buy a house. Toby's out of contract. So it's very natural to feel a bit of anxiousness. He doesn't feel any of that. He is so calm, collected and very reassured. So I guess I just have to keep reminding myself, if he's not stressed, I'm not stressed. But yeah, it'll work out. And if we move, we move. I'm so okay with moving. We love North Melbourne. We love the club. I love Melbourne. I wouldn't mind some sun though. I keep saying, I'm like, I want to go to WA. No, I want WA. I want
really?
Perth. I want warmth. But maybe when he retires, we can go there. So I want some sun. I'm like, give me some sun. Especially like living in Melbourne. It's freezing.
Do you worry about Perth though? It's like kind of isolated? Or are you a bit like...
No, not really. I know it's further away, but our family live in a small country town. So we lived in Sydney. You've got to catch 2 flights or drive 6 hours and a fly there. So it's really not that different. So like we already isolated from our family as it is. And in terms of friends, we've moved so many times that we have friends that live in every state. So it's like we'll just make more friends that live in Perth and we still have our friendships here. So it's... Yeah, I'm not worried at all.
It must be like second nature to make friends now as well.
Yeah, very, very. And being in the football world, that makes it very easy as well. And then, your true friends stick. And then now we just travel. Every state we go to, we've got friends in. So it's nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And you just do like long away catch-ups with people that you see.
Exactly. Yeah. And we have FaceTime and social media. So, yeah.
Definitely.
It's easy to keep friendships.
Was there a moment that you realised, like you said, you love the footy?
Yes.
Were you always a fan?
Always a fan, yeah. I grew up in a small country town in South Australia, and if you live in South Australia, there's 99.9% chance you're a football fan. So especially in a country town, my brothers played football, I played football. Football was massive and AFL was a big thing in my household. So, both Toby and I followed AFL before he played AFL.
Yeah. And how did you and Toby meet? Go back to like very beginning. Where did it all begin?
We grew up together, and everyone hates my answer for this, but we don't remember meeting because when you grow up in a small country town, everyone knows everyone. So there's not a time that you meet each other. You've just known each other since you were born, I guess. There's not a specific time that we remember meeting. Like our parents grew up together, our siblings grew up together, like everyone grew up together. So it's just we knew each other. So it's never really a great answer. It's not something, we met doing this. And we were childhood friends. Our families were friends. Toby was best friends with my brothers, and we played sport together. We played baseball. Everyone plays football back home. And Toby always, ever since we were little, always asked me to be his girlfriend.
That's so cute.
And I was his first and only girlfriend. But to me, it sounds really weird, but he was friends with my brother. So I always friend zoned him. But then he moved to Adelaide, and then that's when I realised I actually really like him. So yeah, that's when we started talking. That's when it changed from friendship to romantic.
So it all kind of flourished there.
Yeah, it wasn't until he moved away. I think.
Did you make the first move in that sense?
No. He always made moves. He did for years when we were little kids. It wasn't a secret that Toby liked me. But I just, one day I think he moved away, and then I couldn't not stop speaking to him. So, yeah.
Was there like an unspoken rule book that you felt you had to learn when you became a WAG though? I
was always scared to talk out and about, but I've always been quite confident and vulnerable. So there's no real, not that I can think of, no, there's nothing that I feel like I have to do because my husband plays AFL or anything that I can't do. Obviously, I don't talk about rule book, for example. This is probably the only thing is if he comes home and tells me something about the football club or the team change, I'm not going to publicly share that, or I'm not going to talk about that. Or if there's an injury that hasn't been announced, I'm not going to share that publicly. So that's probably the only thing. And that's not a rule that they put on me. That's just common sense.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Do you feel this pressure that you always have to be supportive and keeping up appearances, whether it be to games or just showing up to certain events and things like that for Toby?
I don't feel the pressure from the outside world, but it's definitely something I want to do to support Toby.
Yeah.
So I don't feel any pressure to do it, but I enjoy doing it because I'm supporting my husband. And I also, going to events, like the other, in quotation marks, the WAGs, they're my friends. The football club, that's Toby's job. He's there every day. I see these people all the time. Like, I enjoy it. And I want to support him. So I don't feel any pressure to do it, but I want to do it.
So what about the other WAGs? Who would be in your immediate circle, do you think?
I've got a few, but definitely one of my best friends is Courtney Darling. She's Jack Darling's wife. I love her. She's a godsend. She's a beautiful human. All of the wives and girlfriends are. We're very lucky at North. Even just across the board, all of the wives and girlfriends I know across the whole AFL. Everyone is so lovely. But yeah, there's a few of us oldies like Courtney and Kate and Maddie, and there's a kind of a group of us. We actually just went to Bali recently together.
Nice.
Yeah, the boys played 2 games in Perth in a row, so we headed over to Bali in between.
That's so good because it's so close.
It's so close. Yeah, so we just had a little girls' holiday while the boys trained. So we're all really, really close, and we're really lucky to have such a good group of females at the club. But it seems like that across the board from what I know.
Do you guys have a Kangaroos group chat, like for the girls?
Yeah.
Or
Yes, we do.
So what actually happens, in the group chat during like a close game?
Oh, okay. This is a good question because it is. It's normally like, oh my God, I'm so anxious. I feel sick. And then it's like, these.
Yeah,
like,
you can swear.
Yeah, it's like, what is this call? And it's like, oh my God, what is happening? And so like last week, for example, we won, but that third quarter was not looking good. The group chat was going off. So it's fun. It's all part of it. It doesn't happen every week, like the group chat going. It's normally when it's close and everyone's feeling anxious and sick and everyone's messaging in the group chat. But a lot of the group chat's about organising lunches or dinners beforehand or organising like a weekend away if they're playing away. So yeah, I'm very lucky we've got a good group.
And what about like game day superstitions? Do you have any pre-game rituals that you do before the game starts? Or does Toby, like obviously I know he's not playing this season at the moment, but does he have any rituals or do you?
Probably the only thing is when we get to the ground, I normally send him a text. Like I will send him they have to put in their phone as soon as they're walking in. So he'll look at his phone right before he turns it off or pops it in the lockbox. So I'll always send him a text. And it's normally like, good luck or be confident or you deserve to be out there or something along the lines of, so that's probably my only ritual.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice little like hype message.
Yeah. No, it's normally to give him a bit of confidence.
Was there anything funny, like do you and all the WAGs sort of like sit in a box with when the Roos are playing? Yeah,
we don't necessarily sit in a box, but we have an area where all the family and the friends of the players sit, which is nice because it's not, I guess, for example, a lot of fans talk bad. Like you don't want to be sitting next.
Yeah, definitely sitting in the stands.
You don't
of the
want to
game.
be sitting next to someone who's like, oh, he sucks, and it's your husband.
And you're like, cool, thanks.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks. Love to hear it.
Has there anything that's been captured in that area that or anything crazy that's happened in that area that the cameras haven't caught? Obviously, the cameras are on the game.
Not really. Probably just that we're so a lot more passionate and louder than you'd think. Like like some of us, especially with loud personalities, like we're yelling, we're screaming, we're yelling at calls, we're yelling, like we're like fans. So not all of us, but some of us, we're like, we don't just sit there in silence and watch the game go. Like I'm screaming and yelling and out of my seat. So I think, that's probably never captured and people probably don't think that happens, but we're like fans do.
Yeah. I feel like they probably all think, like,
we just sit there and
sit there with the champagne and like the merch on. No, up there screaming.
Yeah, I definitely am.
Yeah, I would be too. I reckon I'd be getting so into it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Do you think things have sort of changed in this is so weird to say, like the WAG community in terms of like the older WAGs and the newer WAGs that have come in? So think like Beck Judd, Nadia Bartel, like those older WAGs. Do you think there's I guess less public attention or?
The only change that I have noticed is now social media is more prevalent. So TikTok, for example, back in the day, no one was doing outfits. Get ready with me for the football. That wasn't really a thing. So I think what's been prevalent is a lot of WAGs now feel comfortable to share that they are a WAG. It's not a taboo thing. And there's lots of like this, get ready with me for the football and that thing. That's probably like the biggest thing that I've noticed, I guess, over the years is now WAGs are more prevalent on social media. But that's just in general. Social media is more prevalent. So yeah.
And in saying that, with social media comes more access to you guys being in the public eye. So what about things like scandals? We've had quite a series, especially like older scandals. You think like Wayne Carey and things like that. And then newer scandals like Lachie and Neale. Do you feel for the WAGs who get caught up in those kinds of scandals?
Yes, I definitely do. I don't know as such if they're getting caught up, and just unfortunately that's their personal life that seems to be shared publicly. That's part and parcel of being in the public eye. But I definitely do feel for them because you don't have the privilege of being private. if you wanted to be. That is, you don't have that privilege. But also, in the same sense, like that's someone that's going through something very deeply impersonal. It's being shared publicly, so it's bad enough going through something that's deep and personal, let alone it being shared and everyone's talking about it. But also, unfortunately, I definitely feel for them, but it's also when you're in the public eye, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Which sucks when you're going through something that's challenging, but unfortunately, which I wish it wasn't. I wish everyone got their privacy when they needed it, but it's just not how it works.
With saying that, with the Jules and Lachie saga,
Yeah.
because I know you've had your own online scrutiny for absolutely no reason, something that you didn't ask for, and I mean, Jules and Lachie didn't ask for this. When that saga came out, did that affect you in any way?
That's their business. That has nothing to do with me. And yeah, that's the other thing. I think you can see stuff online that's posted about someone else in the public eye or in the AFL community, and you can have a feeling towards it. But at the end of the day, that's their life.
Yeah.
You can have an opinion, but you have to keep that opinion to yourself. So, it's their life. It's their personal thing. It doesn't impact me at all. Obviously, I can sympathise and feel empathy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't impact me personally.
Yeah. So let's talk about your wedding day.
Yeah.
What should have been one of the happiest moments of your life literally just turned into this onslaught of attacks from trolls online. What was the moment where you realised that the reaction online was becoming something far darker than like the normal commentary you'd receive?
Yeah, it was probably about 2 weeks after we got married. And I first saw the article in the newspaper when I was grocery shopping. And then I saw it on Facebook and it was instant. Like the second I read the comments, they were
So was the article just about your wedding? Like it was just coverage of your wedding?
So we eloped. So we and Toby, typically when an AFL player gets married, they do an article on it. So we eloped, had a small private wedding, and Toby was going to train the morning of the wedding because it was casual, we were just going to the marriage register. And so he called his coach and said, I'm actually getting married. Like I can come to training, but like just a heads up that I need to leave on time. And then his coach said, don't be silly.
That's so weird. They're like, oh yeah, just casually. Like I'm going to training and then I'm getting married. Like.
Yeah. And then his coach was like, don't be silly. Like, no, you're going to get married. So he still trained, just not in the big group. So he still woke up, did his training session, but earlier. And then so when the article come out, it was something about Toby training the morning of the wedding. And then us eloping. And so a lot of the comments were around, of course, I'd keep it a secret too if I was married to her, or like AFL player by day, pig hunter by night. Like as soon as it was up, it was out of control. And I think it just reached a really bad algorithm on social media and didn't stop.
What would you say was the most difficult part of that experience for you emotionally?
I think you come off, obviously, getting married is one of the best things to happen in your life. And you're elated, you're over the moon, everything's euphoric. And so I think it was just such a big roller coaster of emotions. So we've just been married, that's the best time of our life, and then felt like I'd been smacked in the face with this horrible situation. And obviously now I'm very fortunate that I have the tools in my mental toolbox to deal with it. Lack of a better word, I hate to admit that. It's like a double-edged sword. I shouldn't have to. Like it's not my responsibility. I shouldn't have had to get the tools in my toolkit to, I guess, in quotation marks, deal with it. I shouldn't have had to, but I'm glad I have for my own mental health. And so I think the thing I struggled with the most was I guess the amount of criticism that there was. And it wasn't even really about, like there was a few about my dress, but it wasn't even about the way I looked. It wasn't about my hair. It wasn't about my makeup. It wasn't about my dress. It wasn't about the wedding being tacky. It was literally about me being, in quotation marks, fat to their terminology.
To their standards.
Yeah.
And I noticed as well, I was going through a couple of articles as well, and all the screenshots They're all from men.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like typical.
Yeah.
And they're the same people that message Toby and players if they like don't perform as well in a game, and they'll just call them profanities and things, and it's just like, what? Like, who's got the time?
The same people that message Toby and say, "I love you. Can I have a photo?" Or like, "You're the best." Like, it's also that same person that will obsess over my husband, will hate on me, and then they'll think, "Oh, poor guy. Like, I feel for him," and it's like, not poor guy. That guy hates you too. So
he just got married. Like what?
Yeah. Like I think people think sometimes they're looking out for Toby when they call me fat or say poor guy, like he's trapped. And I'm like, Toby has no respect for you.
Yeah.
I think they think that he will respect them and they idolize him, but they talk negatively about his wife. Like, I'm sorry, no husband's gonna accept
you expect him to like you if you're going to talk like that? It's just so strange. You know, when you get this onslaught of messages, you think like, what? Like, people are saying this about me? Then, you know, is it something that you've kind of dealt with throughout your life, or did this all just become a pile-on immediately after your wedding?
It was a bit of a pile-on, but to be honest, like there was part of me that was, are they seeing something that I'm not? And I started to question myself, but that got shut down really fast. I'm a confident person. I know what I look like. I know my size, and that's my issue and my doctor's concern, if it's a concern, and the people around me. Like, I know who I am. I'm confident in myself, and that shouldn't matter to anyone else. And so initially I was like, oh my God, is there something I'm obviously oblivious to? They're seeing something that I'm not. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I think I'm, in quotation marks, skinny. I know the weight I am. I know the size I am. I know the way that I look. But that's me. That's me and my issue only. That's no one else's concern. So I'm very lucky that I am confident within who I am as a person. So those thoughts shut down easily.
Yeah. And as long as you're happy, and I mean, like, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy with my husband, my family, my friends, and anything to do with the way that I look or my health, that's mine and my doctor's concern. That's no one else's.
So would you say that there was a moment where you were like deciding that the trolls just weren't going to win, or was it where you just sort of snapped back into it being like, I am confident and I'm happy with the way I am and it's nobody else's business?
There was a few moments. So the first one was when I first posted about it. I was really embarrassed. I didn't tell anyone for a while that I was being bullied. Obviously they could semi-see it, but not to the extent, obviously, that it was happening. And so I didn't really tell anyone besides my husband. And so I posted it on TikTok. This was before I even really used TikTok. I was a scroller, not a poster. And so I posted it more looking back. It was obviously an outreach of help to my friends.
Yeah.
And so I posted it. I didn't even know there was such thing as like blowing up overnight from one video. Like I didn't have followers on TikTok. And I posted it and I got out of the bath and immediately my phone was blowing up and I was so embarrassed that I wanted to delete it and hide away. And my husband, Toby, was like, no, keep it up. And I had a heap of people reach out to do interviews and I was like, no, because initially I felt embarrassed that I was being bullied, which if you're being bullied, don't feel embarrassed. Like that was just how I felt initially. And he was the one who pushed me to speak up about it. He's like, no, you have the voice, you're confident. You can do it, like it's for good. And so that was probably like one moment. And so then once I spoke about it, I got the confidence to keep speaking about it. And I'm like, it's not my thing to be ashamed of. It's the trolls. Like it's not about me. It's actually not about me. And then, there was also when I saw my psychologist, she was really good at reminding me of like I've always known I'm in a happy, healthy marriage. I love myself. I love my friends and I love my family. And it was just, she gave me the tools and the mindset to be able to not listen to what anyone else has to say because I'm happy internally. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. What about Toby though? Does he, when those wedding photos came out and when the trolling came out, did he feel guilty because you are in the public eye because of him and because of his job?
Yeah, he never publicly or never openly says I feel guilty, but he does say sorry. So But I know it's not him. He's just doing his job. It's not, although it comes off the backhand of his job, it's got nothing to do with, he hasn't caused this. He's really good at having the mindset of those people don't matter.
Yeah.
Their opinions don't matter. So, yeah.
Do they get trained to not trained, that sounds so weird, but being in the public to just block out the noise?
Yeah, they do a lot of work internally with themselves. They have club psychologists. They do a lot of work at the football to block out the noise.
Yeah.
Toby, obviously that's so much easier said than done. We just tell people, just ignore it or just block out the comments. That's a little bit unrealistic. But Toby's really good at doing that.
Yeah.
He's so great at doing that, better than me.
It's hard. Because
Yeah.
even people here say don't read the comments. I'm I read the comments.
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I'm really guilty of reading all the comments.
We're human. It's natural. And that's not the answer. The answer isn't we shouldn't read the comments. The answer is the comment shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Brownlow this year?
No, that's the other misconception. Everyone assumes that every AFL player and their wife goes, but there's only about 5 people from each team. There's actually not that many.
Really?
Yeah, there's actually not that many AFL players that have ever been to a Brownlow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, I think people just assume that everyone gets to go or most people get to go, but they don't. And it's, your captain always goes and generally probably your top 4 players and they're generally your midfield, unless you're taking mark or goal of the year. Not many AFL players actually go to the Brownlow. So I'm definitely not going to the Brownlow, especially as Toby's in, unless you took a mark of the year, which normally the small run and jumpers do that. But we go to best and fairest.
Nice.
So that's, club level Brownlow, I guess, for anyone that doesn't know what that is. And yeah, they're fun. You get to dress up. You get to eat a meal with your friends. You get to have a few drinks. And there's nothing better than dressing up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you go? Because I know there was a report saying that you didn't or weren't going last year.
Yeah.
Because of everything. Would you consider going in a few years if there was the capacity, if Toby was invited and you guys were invited?
Yeah, I'd go this year. Even if it was just for myself to work, I'd go this year. I would have went last year. We just, I think the article, there was no truth to that article. I would go. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not shy. I don't shy away from who I am. I'm not scared of the comments or the hate. Obviously, it's slightly nerve-wracking that you know what's going to come, but I'd go. So
You chose to retake your wedding photos. You said previously that it was because of you hated seeing the photos that you originally took and just being reminded of the constant bullying. And you also auctioned off your wedding dress for Dolly's Dream. So what did reclaiming that experience feel like and what did it mean to you?
Yeah, well, we reshot the wedding. It wasn't even my idea. Someone mentioned it to me. And it was actually Steph Claire Smith, as she's known. I was on her podcast and post-podcast she mentioned it to me. And so as soon as she said it, I loved the idea. So we eloped. So we only got a small amount of photos. You don't do your typical standard photo album. So naively, but also not naively, I shared all of our wedding photos initially. And so all the media and all the public and everyone had access to our photos. So they were everywhere. And I didn't have one photo for us, all those photos, and they were beautiful photos and I love them. But they all, I guess, related to an article or a comment. And there was no personal attachment to any photos anymore.
Yeah.
There was kind of detached. Our wedding didn't feel personal anymore. It kind of felt like a topic discussion. It didn't feel like our wedding. Although you can't take away our wedding day, it was still beautiful. And so when we reshot the photos, I share some and I occasionally will share a new one. But I have all these wedding photos now that are private for us that are up in our home.
Yeah.
And that's a personal, intimate to us. That's our wedding and they're our photos. So it's not a news article. It's not a hate comment. It's our wedding photos. So,
what do you wish, though, that people understood about the real world of online body shaming?
I wish people understood if you have those feelings of disgust towards someone about the way that they look, the issue lies within yourself. like it's not actually the person. So I wish people understood if they had those feelings, just sit there for a moment and fully reflect on why you have those feelings. Because 100% of the time you'll backtrack those thoughts in your brain and they'll come back to the issue is you, whether it's you're insecure, whether it's you don't feel confident within yourself, whether it's you need a laugh from your friends, you're feeling lonely. 100% of the time the issue comes back to you. So if you feel this disgust towards someone and the way that they look, the issue is you. Why do you feel that way? And then if you backtrack your thinking, every thought, it ends up being the issue is yourself. It's not about the person or the way that they look. Because why should it matter how anyone looks? It shouldn't. So I wish people understood if you feel a certain way, and there's a difference. If you feel that way, okay, don't comment it. You can feel disgust or you can feel uncomfortable. Go work on that yourself. Keep that opinion to yourself and move on.
Would you say that's the same advice that you give to people that are receiving the body shaming? It's like it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you.
Yeah, 100%. Like people aren't commenting on my stuff calling me fat or ugly because they hate me as a person. If they got to know me, I promise you they'd like me. Like I'm fun. So I know that they're not commenting because they hate me as a person. They're commenting because they are missing something within themselves. So yeah, I think if you are being trolled or if someone's commenting about your life or the way that you look, it's because they're not happy within themselves.
Yeah. If you could speak to yourself on your wedding day before any of the trolling started, what would you say?
Probably nothing. Yeah, I was naive on my wedding day that would have ever happened, and I would love for the old me to stay that way forever. So yeah, probably nothing. I hope she could be blind to that and just enjoy her wedding day. So I'm glad I got to do that. I'm glad it didn't happen before my wedding day or on my wedding day.
Yeah.
Like I got a nice week or two.
You don't think it would have been like
yes.
if you could go back, you wouldn't like be like word of warning or you just leave it?
Probably the only thing is I probably wouldn't have shared all my photos. I probably would have kept one or two private. But other than that, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it didn't happen. So it's given me a platform to be able to advocate. So yeah, it happened to me because I was able to, I guess, do something with it. So yeah, I'm like, although it was very hard, I wouldn't have what I have without it. So yeah.
There has been a lot of online discussion with celebrities like Ariana Grande and whether people should be commenting on someone's appearance, you know, especially if they're worried about their health. Given your own experience with strangers publicly dissecting your body, do you think there's a line between genuine concern and then just straight up harmful commentary?
I think the worried about someone is such a cop-out. You're not commenting because you're worried about them. Yes, I can look at a photo and I might feel concerned for someone, but I'm not commenting that. So if you're commenting and your defensiveness to that comment is, oh, I'm just concerned about them, that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because unless they are your partner or your best friend or your family, you should not be commenting on someone's body out of concern. Because Ariana Grande is not reading that comment. You're not commenting that out of concern for her. She knows. She has publicly stated that she wants people to stop commenting on her body. So she already knows that people are commenting on her body. So the more you do it, the cop-out, oh, I only care. It's the comment, I only care. It's such a cop-out. Yeah. She knows her body. Like, that's the other thing. People call me fat. And I'm like, I know my body. You calling me fat's not going to change anything about this situation. So them commenting on her body isn't going to change anything about the situation. Yeah. She has a family. She has a doctor. She has herself. So why is it your concern? You commenting it is just making it bigger. It's making it more in the public eye. Like, leave her alone. Like,
and then it just brings more people to come and do the same.
Yeah,
and then
correct.
It creates this wave of onslaught. Also, stuff about this new wave of Ozempic culture and dieting culture and this new, like, skinny, I don't know, what is it? The skinny epidemic. That's what everyone's calling it. Did your own experience change the way that you view headlines or public discussion about other women's appearances, whether they be, you know, A-list celebrities or WAGs or just general public?
Yes and no. I feel like I've always known to not read or take in any account to any kind of headlines and articles. Like, no offense if you're posting an article with your, like a headline. I know that that's clickbait and that probably doesn't hardly reflects the article. So I think it's common sense, and a lot of people unfortunately lack the common sense to understand that the clickbait headline probably doesnthink reflect the article. So, and if it's anything to do with a woman's body, I'm not reading it. No. So, I think, hasn't really changed. I think I felt like that before this happened to me. I think it's just I'm aware of it, and I don't really pay too much attention to it. So.
In saying that, do you think there's still a really specific stereotype attached to AFL WAGs to look a certain way?
There is, definitely. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be getting trolled the way that I am getting trolled. That's because there's this stereotype that I should look a certain way. But in saying that, if I was skinny, I'd still be bullied because I'd look too thin, or no matter what you do, you can't win.
Yeah.
So although this is happening to me, it's happening to so many other people. Like, it's not really just a me issue. Like, yes, this is happening to me, but it happens across the board. Women all the time in general are being scrutinised for the way that they look. So yes, I think it's still a stereotype, but I don't think I could win no matter what. I think it's just the whole issue is people commenting on women's bodies in general. So, yeah.
You're so prominent in the body positivity movement.
Yeah.
There are other WAGs, I'd say like Ivan Soldo's wife, Chelsea. She seems to be more confident and comfortable showcasing her body publicly. Do you think that women should just be free to engage to do whatever they want, or should they be more, I don't know, do you think it just kind of reinforces some pressures that they may be trying to challenge?
No. She can do whatever she wants. I think women can do whatever they want, and I think that's my biggest point. It doesn't matter what I share or the way that I look or the way another woman looks or what they share. My whole point is you shouldn't be commenting on women's bodies in general. Good on her. She has confidence, and I love that. That's what body positivity and I guess that movement is. Yeah. You, no matter the way you look, no matter what you share, you should be able to feel confident within yourself. So whether that's a Barbie shaped, stereotypical person, you can share what you want, and no one should comment on your body. So I think my whole point and my whole argument is we focus way too much on bodies and the way that people look. Like, it's so irrelevant to who someone is. So, yeah.
Now let's talk about your relationship. And I know we talked about the support that Toby had for you during the trolling and everything that was going on. But what would you say the hardest part is about loving someone whose career is just publicly judged every weekend?
Probably it's a roller coaster. Some weeks things are going great and the next week they're going terrible. So, like, for example, last season he was having a great season, unreal season. This season he's injured his shoulder and is out for the season. So it's like an emotional roller coaster. So that's probably the hardest part.
Yeah. And what about, especially after everything, like, I wouldn't say it's a lesson learned, like you should never receive the comments.
Yeah.
But how do you now protect your relationship from becoming part of such a public conversation?
We don't. Our relationship is protected by we are both so in love and so confident and happy and are able to communicate internally with us too. So if it's in public conversation, we're so okay with that. We know our relationship. We share so much about our relationship. We share so much about our life. And so, and one day that might change. One day I might not want to share. One day we might want to be private people. But right now we don't mind sharing. Our relationship's very healthy and very happy. And so there's no real need to, I guess, protect it from the outside world. Everyone else can say what they want. We're okay with sharing. We're okay with talking about our relationship. And like I said, that might change. But right now it's so fine, no issues.
Nice. And what about, like, after a tough loss in the game or like a obviously difficult period, he's out for the season, what role do you naturally play? You know, are you someone who talks things through with Toby, or are you kind of one to be like, I'll just give you space?
He probably doesn't like this, but I talk everything. Anytime he gets in the car, I know the game. I know football really well, so I like to talk about the game and what's gone wrong and what's gone right and how he played. And I'm a debriefer, so I'm allowed max 10 minutes, and then it's done. It's time to move on to the next week. So, I probably debrief for about 10 minutes with him, and then let's just focus on our personal life. Everything's good, and just move on from it. It is what it is.
Nice. So, I love that. Debrief.
Yeah, it's a debrief. It gets in the car. I'm like, all right, debrief. Let's talk about everything. What happened?
So good.
And it's about 10 minutes, and then as soon as
does he say, like, are you done? Like, I've heard this all from my coach.
Yeah, he's like, okay, that's enough. No, he's pretty engaging. Just depends on the situation and what's actually happened. But yeah, it's probably about 10 minutes of a debrief, and then it's like, oh, what are we doing for the rest of the night? So,
and has your life being involved in professional sport strengthened your relationship, or has it changed in ways that you didn't expect?
Yeah, definitely. It's probably strengthened as well as changed in ways we didn't expect. So, for example, I can't imagine, we both grew up in a small, tiny country town. So I can't imagine we would have lived in all these different states and had all these experiences if it wasn't for football. So that's forced us to move. And when you move into state, you bond more, you experience more together, and we're obviously, when we move, we're away from anyone we know, any friends or family. So it's like rebuilding that all together. So yeah, it's definitely both.
Let's talk about fertility.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have been open about living with PCOS and endometriosis.
Yeah.
What made you decide to share something like this so publicly?
I don't really know. I don't really mind sharing. Like, if you ask me anything, I'd just tell you. I'm not a private person at all. I very obviously very open and very public, and I don't think anything should be taboo or should be a negative thing. And I think the more I talk about things, the more people relate, the more it becomes less of a stigma, and the more good things come from it. So if I feel confident and comfortable enough to share about my personal life and it helps just one person, I'll happily do it because I'm comfortable to do that. So
yeah. And before going through it yourself, was there anything that you didn't understand about infertility or IVF, or was there anything that was like a huge wake-up call?
So much. Everything. Yeah. I think basically everything. I think there's so much people don't understand, and there's so much that people don't know. It's so emotionally, financially, physically taxing. It's consuming, and people feel uncomfortable talking about it. People get really nervous and anxious because obviously it's a delicate subject. And so what I find is people don't like to talk about it to me because it's so I'm not comparing it to grief at all, but it's like people feel uncomfortable talking about grief. It's like the same. People feel uncomfortable.
You mean people feeling uncomfortable talking to you about your struggles because they're scared of what they're going to say? Yeah,
correct. And I'm not comparing it to grief, but it's the uncomfortableness that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, where people just like, you're like, I'm an open book, like you can talk to me about anything. Yeah. And then they're still so nervous to.
Yeah. And so I like to just share and openly talk, because then it allows people to kind of ask questions and be curious and learn. And the more I share, the more people learn. So.
And in saying that, you said that it's so emotionally and financially and physically draining, the whole experience. What would you say is like the number one most challenging thing about it all?
I had 100 come to mind. Probably it's so consuming. You have appointments every day. You have injections every day. You have needles every day. You're waiting on answers every day. You're crossing your fingers every day. So it's so consuming. Like, it consumes your whole entire life. As much as you try not let it, it naturally does. Like, you just have so much going on with it that it's so consuming. And I think also just the roller coaster. It's like one day you're like, whoa, we got this many eggs. And then the next day it's like, damn it, only this many fertilized. Damn it, this one hasn't made it. And it's just like it's this roller coaster, and you have hope, and then your hope's shattered, and then it's like you get hope back, and then your hope's shattered again. So it's...
Well, how do you cope with that? The constant, cycle of hope, waiting for something, and then I guess having to start again?
Great question. I think, number one, you don't really have too much of a choice. Like, I know that we're going to have a child one day, and I know that we'll get there, and I know that that's the outcome we want. So this roller coaster is just part of the journey to get there. So I think although your hope gets shattered one day, there's still always deep down, there's that tiny bit of hope that keeps you pushing. Like, I know that we'll have a child, hopefully more than one, but I know it will happen. So it's like you find that deep hope in you.
Yeah.
And I guess your friends support you. My husband supports me. So, yeah, I know it will happen. And we have a great fertility team. So
nice. And what would you say to someone who's just been told that they may need fertility treatment and, would feel frightened about what comes next?
I would think I would probably tell them to feel those feelings. They're completely normal, and allow yourself to feel like that. That's so normal. But lean on the people around you. And, yeah, probably feel your feelings. You're allowed to feel your feelings. I think what we try and do is, oh, well, like, it's not that bad, or, oh, let's just shut those feelings down. But it's so normal to feel hurt or grief or sad or frustration. That's so normal. So I was saying the other day, two feelings can coexist. Like, you can feel that, all of those feelings, but you can also feel hope. Like, I think sometimes people forget that we can feel two feelings at once, like they can coexist. So, for example, if one of my best friends are pregnant, I'm so excited. I'm over the moon for her. I'm elated for her and her family, and there's nothing better than being an auntie again. But then there's part of me that is sad. I'm like, damn
because
it.
you want that for yourself.
I want that for myself, and I wish I was on that journey with her. And although I'm not right now, I know I will be. But it's like those two feelings can be there at the same time. And so I think just everything in life in general, I think people forget that you can have two feelings at once.
That's really good advice.
Thanks.
That's really nice. Now, let's go into like your identity beyond AFL. We were talking about the whole stigma behind WAGs. Do you ever get frustrated when people reduce you to being like the AFL player's wife?
Yes, a little, but at the same time, I know that's just them being small-minded. Like, that's, once again, their issue. That's not my issue, not my concern. But I think what people forget is that wives are human. Like, I'm no different to you. I have my job. I have my friends. I have my family. My husband just happens to be a professional athlete. So I think people really forget that about WAGs. I think they just assume that AFL players make a lot of money, so their wives just sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
And if they want to do that, well, good on them. But, like, that's not always the case. They have identities, and they are people, and they have lives. They might have jobs. They might have children. They have families. They have friends. So I think, like, they are no different. We are no different to anyone else. So I think people forget that. So that bit frustrates me. We're not just accessories.
And what are you building? What are you working on that is strictly yours, you know, regardless of football? What's something that you're working on?
Making a baby. Yes. Trying really, really hard to make a baby. That's probably my main focus at the moment. Football aside, that's obviously, you know, in 10 years' time, 5 years' time, when football's not even a thing so prevalent in our lives, we'll still have our baby. So, yeah, I think that's probably my number one focus at the moment, is hopefully to fall pregnant.
So tell me about your corporate job, because
Yes.
you do that as well as content creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work full-time for an energy company. We did a lot of wind farms, solar farms, transmission lines. And so that's Monday to Friday. I work from home a few days a week, which is helpful because obviously I go to a lot of events at night time, a lot of PR things. So if I was going into the office 24/7, it's hard to get home, get ready to make it to an event in time in peak hour traffic because my office isn't close to home. So I do that full time, Monday to Friday, and then I somehow fit all the content and the PR in and around that. And they know that I do social media as well, and I'm always doing interviews and other things. So they're pretty flexible if I need to go do something. But generally I can time things outside of work hours, which is so helpful. But I just love, I kind of feel like Hannah Montana. Like the best of both worlds, like a double life. I was saying that to my friend on the way here. I was like, I feel like Hannah Montana. Like I'm like one side of the Miley Cyrus, and then this is Hannah Montana. So I feel like I get to be Chloe before any social media kind of blew up when I'm at my job, because like I work with a lot of men. They don't care about social media. So yeah, it's nice. And I like the stability of it.
Yeah.
So I'll do that for as long as I can.
You don't think you'll ever just be like, I only want to be Hannah Montana? Like going straight into content creating?
Probably. I really like the stability and the income of having a full-time job and having a bit of me that's to the side. Like I like it currently, but who knows? Never say never. Yeah. I deep down think one day that I will be just Hannah Montana. Like I think deep down one day I'll do something way bigger than what I'm doing now. But yeah, for now I'm enjoying it. So
nice. And you're also doing content creation.
Yeah.
Would you say social media has helped shape and establish your own identity, or has it sometimes become harder and more challenging?
No, it's definitely helped me shape and have my own identity. Like I'm often more recognised than Toby is now when we go out and about. So I definitely feel like I have my own identity in the media, and I'm often referred to as Chloe Pink rather than WAG, Toby Pink's WAG. No, I often feel like I do have my own identity, and I did before, but just publicly. Like I've always had my own identity no matter what, but publicly in terms of articles and things like that, I definitely feel like I'm recognised now as, I guess, who I am, and that's Chloe Pink. So yeah.
I might be calling myself out here, but what's one thing that you wish journalists would stop asking AFL's partners?
Oh,
like
that's
the WAGs.
A good question. Do you know what? I think journalists really hope that there's lots of beef between WAGs and lots of drama between WAGs, but there's actually not. It's very minimal. And so I think I find a lot of journalists always try and get, in quotation marks, the tea from me and make me want to talk bad about other WAGs. But like I said before, we're so human. It's like being in a workplace. Like you don't. It's not. I think people just think WAGs are toxic and fight all the time, but they don't. It's not like that. We're friends, and so I think a lot of journalists always try and get the tea, I guess. But there's no tea to be spilled. Well, not for me anyway. Not yet. So hopefully it's like that forever. But there's none of that. It's generally pretty mellow. Obviously, there's personalities that clash, but that's typical. You've got 40 people in a room that you're forced to be there with.
With everything that you've experienced in, I would probably say the past couple of years, you know, from public scrutiny to your fertility challenges, what are you most proud of in yourself right now?
Probably persevering, like still showing up, because initially I was embarrassed. I wanted to shy away from it and just delete it and pretend it didn't happen. So I think I'm proud of myself for showing up, and I think advocating for other people, because I think sometimes people hear me and they are like, oh, or they'll see an article about me and they're like, oh, you're still talking about it. Oh, she's still going on about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about what happened to me for the sake of it. I'm not sitting here complaining. I'm telling you I'm angry and frustrated because it's still happening and it's not okay. And I'm not even referencing just for myself. I'm talking about women in general. So I think I'm proud of myself for still pushing and still talking about it.
Chloe, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Thanks so much for watching. New episodes of The Debrief drop weekly, so be sure to come back for more. And don't forget to subscribe to Daily Mail's entertainment YouTube channel, where we catch up with Hollywood's biggest stars, chat to your favourite reality TV personalities, and bring you all the latest entertainment news and gossip. See you next week.